Listen, Pi Network just dropped a full banking interface on their testnet, and this changes everything. I know you've been frustrated, watching the price crash from $300 to $21, wondering if you've wasted your time, but what I'm about to show you is either the breakthrough we've been waiting for, or the final test of whether this project is real. The community is calling it Gargora Digital Bank, and it's the first time Pi has shown us something that actually looks like a working financial application. Stick with me, because I'm breaking down exactly what this means for your holdings, why this matters more than any previous update, and whether you should hold on or move on. Before we go deeper, follow my Telegram and Facebook pages right now. Links are in the description. I share breaking updates and exclusive analysis there that doesn't make it into videos. Don't miss critical information that could change your Pi strategy. Now, let's get into this banking app that everyone's talking about. So here's what actually happened. A brand new banking interface suddenly appeared on the Pi testnet, and people are completely losing their minds over it. The community nicknamed it Gargora Digital Bank, though that name came from users, not the official team. This is all happening on the testnet, which is basically Pi's testing ground where they experiment without risking real money. Think of it like a dress rehearsal before the actual show. The interface itself is surprisingly familiar. It uses French terms like envoyer for send and reservoir for receive, making it feel just like your regular mobile banking app. But underneath that simple design is decentralized finance technology that lets you simulate moving funds and watch transactions happen in real time on the blockchain. It's like traditional banking merged with cryptocurrency. Inside the app, there's a big yellow warning reminding everyone this is just a simulation, not a working tool yet. That's actually smart because it shows Pi is being careful not to mislead people. But here's what really caught my attention. This banking app didn't appear randomly. It's part of a massive development push that's been accelerating. In October, they launched a test decentralized exchange. In November, they updated the node software. Then boom, this banking interface drops. These aren't coincidences. This is a coordinated rollout of features all working toward one goal, building a bridge between complicated crypto technology and simple apps that regular people actually want to use. Now, let's address the confusion that's bothering everyone. The price situation is absolutely wild. Pi Network is in a closed mainnet phase, meaning the blockchain works but it's isolated from outside exchanges. Officially, you can't deposit Pi onto trading platforms or withdraw it. The system is locked down while they build. But here's the bizarre part. Even though it's officially closed, Pi token is actively trading on major exchanges like BitGet, OKX, and HTX. As of early November, the price sits around $21 with about $29 million in daily trading volume. This creates a massive contradiction between what Pi officially allows and what's actually happening. Some early users moved tokens before the network fully closed, and those are what's being traded now. The price story is crazy. After mainnet launched, Pi exploded to nearly $300. $300 for a token that wasn't even officially tradable. Then reality hit, and it crashed to $21. That massive drop shows how speculative and emotional this market has been. People traded on hype instead of real value. Here's something crucial about supply. Pi has a maximum of 100 billion tokens total, but only 8.3 billion are circulating now. That's less than 10%. When Pi eventually opens the mainnet fully and everyone can trade freely, there'll be a massive supply increase hitting the market. Basic economics says when supply jumps while demand stays flat, prices usually drop. Every Pi holder needs to mentally prepare for this. But despite all the price chaos, here's what gives me hope. The development team keeps building. They're rolling out real applications like this banking interface, the decentralized exchange, and improved infrastructure. These aren't just marketing tricks. These are actual building blocks for utility people can use daily. While other crypto projects are all talk, Pi seems focused on quietly building and testing methodically. Think about real-world utility practically. Imagine sending money to family overseas instantly through this banking app with tiny fees. Picture buying coffee by scanning a QR code from your Pi wallet. Consider earning Pi by selling products directly to other community members. These scenarios aren't fantasy anymore. The technology is being tested right now on the testnet. I know many of you are exhausted from waiting. You've held Pi for months or years, frustrated by delays, confused by price action, maybe losing hope. I completely understand because I hear from hundreds feeling exactly the same. The slow development has tested everyone's patience, but consider this. Every major tech platform started with closed testing, gradual rollouts, and skeptics saying it would fail. Amazon started as just a bookstore people thought was crazy. Facebook was only for college students. The difference between success and failure often comes down to persistence and delivering real utility people actually want. This banking app represents something bigger than just another feature. It shows Pi is thinking about the complete ecosystem they're building. They're not just creating cryptocurrency and hoping people figure it out. They're building tools that make crypto practical for everyday use, focusing on real adoption rather than hype. From decentralized exchanges to the new banking app, each update brings Pi closer to being more than just a mining app. Skepticism remains, with many questioning Pi's legitimacy. But the team keeps improving the technology and expanding the ecosystem, and their steady progress is becoming hard to ignore. Their progress speaks for itself. Still, the big question is whether this banking app will finally make Pi something people actually use, or if it'll fade away. Personally, I've had doubts too, but seeing real prototypes gives me hope. That said, poor communication, constant delays, and the unofficial exchange trading remain real concerns that could hurt trust and confidence. But here's my honest assessment. Pi Network is at a genuine crossroads. They've built the foundation, gathered millions of users, and now they're rolling out actual applications. The next 6 to 12 months will tell us everything. If they successfully launch this banking app, get the DEX working smoothly, and finally open the mainnet while maintaining stability, Pi could become something really special. It could genuinely change how everyday people interact with cryptocurrency. On the other hand, if these applications launch but nobody uses them, if the price crashes when trading fully opens, or if technical problems plague the ecosystem, we'll know Pi didn't live up to its potential. I'm staying involved because I believe the upside possibility is worth the risk, but I'm also being realistic and not putting all my eggs in one basket. My advice, stay informed, stay engaged, but stay balanced. Don't let Pi consume your thoughts or finances. Watch what the team does, not just what they say. Judge them by delivery of working products, and make your own decisions based on your own research and risk tolerance. Nobody can predict the future with certainty. We're all navigating this together. If you made it this far, thank you for sticking with me through this deep dive. I hope this gave you clarity and helped you make more informed decisions. If you found this valuable, smash that like button right now. Drop a comment telling me what you think about this banking app and whether you're feeling hopeful or skeptical. I genuinely want to hear your thoughts. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because I'll be covering every major development as it happens. The story is far from over. I'll see you in the next video where we'll continue tracking Pi's journey together.